I'm going from a spreadsheet to updating a table on a website and trying to double check my numbers. You get whiplash doing this. Oh, God, I wish there was an easier way to do these tables.
Yeah, pay somebody else to do it.
Yeah. If I could just insert my existing Excel spreadsheet directly into the website and not have to retype anything.
Evening, folks.
So, okay, I think I got. Oh man, but now it's going to the different live stream on YouTube. Oh well, people who are on YouTube will just have to live with it. Okay, because we got all kinds of cool people here. I see. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Sorry, I don't have my usual setup. I'm just on the laptop with some AirPods today. I don't know. This new M1 didn't like being docked in my my station, so sorry about that.
What do you think it
How's
was?
everyone doing today?
Good.
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure.
Good, thanks.
Which M1?
Did everyone have a nice holiday weekend? Find some cool deals out there?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, sure.
Bought all new iPhones and iPads.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice, that's cool.
I did splurge. I got myself a new Apple Watch. I had to take, well, this was yesterday. I had to take my Mac into into Apple to get repaired, a new battery and keyboard replaced, and so I was like, okay, do you have an Apple Watch in stock? And I was like, well, if they have it in stock, I may be persuaded to buy one. And they had it in stock. So.
Yeah.
Shucks.
Yeah, exactly. Although I was going to get the new braided band, but they didn't have my size in stock, so I went with the leather magnetic thing.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Which I
Yeah,
like.
I got
but
the braided band when I got mine.
I don't like it's not as easy to put on one hand, like with one hand. Like it's kind of funky to put this leather magnetic band on.
Yeah.
It's comfortable once you have it on, but it's not as easy to put on as the old sports band that I used to have.
Yeah,
any new Foundation 6 users here today?
I'm fairly new from the UK
Okay.
here.
Planning on being one.
I'm
Just
new.
looked at my website.
Yeah, I'm from the UK as well, in Scotland, so fairly new to Foundation.
We couldn't tell. Yeah.
Let me
Everyone in
rephrase
the
that.
US wishes they had a
Scotland,
Scottish accent.
Scotland.
Yeah, exactly.
I do, actually. I have this stupid drawl.
Darn slow Texans.
Right.
Yeah, I had a medical student from Boston one time, and when I gave my lecture on the anatomy of the heart, it was the anatomy of the heart. Otherwise, she wouldn't understood what I was talking about.
I'm a new guy. Been trying to understand this thing for about 3-4 weeks now.
Well, you got about 2 more years to go.
Oh,
Oh, great.
You know, it feels that way.
what new with RapReaver or new just the Foundation or what?
Both. Both. I'm trying to escape Dreamweaver.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Well, I've
I
been
think
using
so.
RapidWeaver for some time, and I bought into the Joe Workman stuff this weekend. So
Oh,
we'll
nice.
get
Welcome
Foundation
to the
6
party.
going. Thank you.
Now you're with the cool kids.
Right, right.
Oh.
So you're gonna have to get yourself a nice Hawaiian shirt.
There we go.
Right? There we go.
The hard part is getting that little bit of music out of your head from the Workman videos.
Yeah.
All right, so
Did
I
you
have to
dress
admit,
like
I
that?
actually planned out. I storyboarded like an entire Black Friday sale video. I bought the background track. And there was just so much to do. I didn't have time to record the video and do it all because it's like 2 or 3 days of work to record and edit and do all those. Maybe I'll try to do it before Christmas. I'll tweak it so it's not purely about Black Friday. But yeah, those are fun. Those are fun to make, some of my videos that I've done, but they're definitely a lot of work.
Joe, I've got a question about your Black Friday
Sure.
Promotion email. What was the stack that you used for these nice animated black and red balloons?
I can tell you.
Aha!
Wouldn't we all like to
Bastard.
purchase those?
Wouldn't you all like to know? So that is an upcoming stack called Drift that will be available in early next year. It'll be a very amazing, cool, kind of like all-in-one, the best animation stack out there. It's gonna be, you can be able to do some nutso stuff with it, and subtle stuff like you saw on that page, which I think is really cool. So yeah, it'll be a stack called Drift. It'll be it'll be more than one stack. It's like gonna be a complete stack set of like all kinds of animation stuff.
So you'll have a great deal
for quite a
Black
while.
Friday 2021 for that. You'll have a good deal Black Friday
well,
next year.
It'll be out before then. Hopefully, I don't want to promise any dates or anything, but early next year, it'll be out. I do have it mostly done. Originally I was gonna do multiple, like tons of different different stacks, and just getting some feedback from users, I'm just gonna consolidate them all into one big animation stack set. And so yeah, hopefully early next year. I don't have an exact time frame. I don't want to tell you, promise you any sort of dates and then miss it, because it will happen. But yeah, it's going to be a really cool set.
Look forward to that then.
Thank you.
Is it the one that you used with your Weaverspace website?
Yes. So if you go to, I also use Drift on the Get Started page. So if you go to Weaverspace/start, as you scroll down the page, some of the icons and some of the things on that page shift and kind of float into place. That was a very, very early version of Drift.
Okay, great.
And that same effect is on that Black Friday sales page with the balloons and the confetti. As you scroll down, it goes around. I've actually improved the performance. If you look at that Black Friday page, it's a little janky on desktop. I've like drastically improved it. It's like 10 times better now. It's just that I built that page a while ago and I used an older version and I didn't want to completely redo it all. So I was a little bit lazy on that. But the new version, actually, if you look at it on mobile, it's like silky smooth. And the new version's really, really nice. So it's really cool.
Cool.
Actually, if we want to, hold on, let me see if I can find the website. I'll show you another website that's out there in the wild that has a beta version of Drift on it. Wolf Adamant. Adamite. I need to ask him how to properly pronounce his last name. I always mess it up. Where is it? Oh, I have it. Here it is. Let's see, what did he remove from this page? 1 second, let me just surf around and see if I can. Here, let me share my screen really quick. All right, so this page uses it in a few different places. Let's see, some of them are very subtle. Like there's actually a kind of a parallaxy effect on this page that actually uses drift. And then further down the page, right here, we have all these these puzzle pieces that fly in as you scroll. That all uses drift as well. He does some other things, some other subtle things on this site. That text that comes in. There are some other things, I don't know if you can see over Zoom, but as you scroll, some of this stuff like this text and actually the fade in of this, these images, that all uses drift as well. There, as you see, as this, that is, I think, a little widget. I'm not sure. Oh, this page uses drift. Yeah, the toilet paper on this page. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, this page uses quite a bit of drift. Yeah. And what's kind of cool is drift. There's a drift swatch. So like you can create an animation that you can use like on tons of different things around your site. So then all you have to do is like whenever you add a class to something, it's basically like adding a style, but you can add an animation to anything just by adding a class, right? So it uses the whole swatch interface as well, so that you can create these general use animations that you can then apply to stuff, right? And it's pretty cool. And then if you're wondering, about like if you want to apply a class, but then you don't want the animation to be the same, like for all these various elements, there's some randomization that you can add to the animation so that even if you apply a class, it'll kind of randomize some values. So it's not like exactly the same all over the place. So it's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah. I don't have it actually on this, like I said, this is, I'm currently on a temporary machine, my wife's MacBook Pro, the M1, the new M1. And so I don't have drift on this machine right now, or I'd kind of give a little demo for you guys. So sorry. Any other questions though? It's open floor. I really don't have any sort of plan today. We're just kind of sitting here chit-chatting, and I'm happy to help out anyone that needs some help, whether that's navigation or anything else.
You seem to have a lot of examples of European and foreign language websites. Is that kind of a following for you there? Is that where your main customer base is, or?
I have about half in the US, and so my main three countries is USA is about half, and then England and Germany are very closely tied for second and third. So those are my three main, I guess, countries where my customers are at. But I do have customers. Australia, I have a decent customer base in Australia, and throughout Europe. I do have some extremely talented German users. That's why a lot of the demo websites that I kind of share out and sample websites from customers are in German. Yeah, you guys are just talented. You guys just do some really great work. So, and I share a lot of Wolf's work as well. Wolf is or Wolf, I think is how you properly pronounce it. He joins my Friday hangouts all the time. I've become pretty good buddies with him, so we chit chat all the time. And yeah, it's a good time. So yeah, about half is definitely the US, and then probably the next 30 to 40% is England and Germany, and then the rest is spread around the world. Maybe 20% is spread around.
You mean the UK?
Oh, Joe. Sorry, the UK. sorry, UK. I forget that there's the UK.
Yeah.
We've got a saying in Scotland. I'm a well balanced Scotsman. I've got a chip on each shoulder.
Oh. Nice.
So, Joe, are you going to? I've asked you this before online about having a system where it can read a JPEG photograph and read all the metadata, so it can read the GPS location, etc.
Yes.
Are you doing something?
So actually, Total CMS actually does that already.
Does it?
I just don't allow you to display or get at that information yet. So I've been storing that data, and it's actually stored in the CMS. Like, I store it; it's all there. And then in version 2, I actually let you you have complete control over that data. You can even edit that data if you want. You can't edit it in the image, but you can edit the data because basically I extract it from the image and store it in the CMS, and then you can like update it afterwards.
Right.
So all that data is extracted right now for years. So if you've been using CMS galleries or blog galleries or any of that stuff, that data is actually stored in your CMS already. It gets all the EXIF data. It gets all of the copyright, title, all that information. Actually, right now, if you put in, I think it's the caption field or the title field in the metadata, it actually extracts that and puts that as the default alt tag. That actually happens right now. But yeah, all that data stored. In version 2, I'm going to let you actually start displaying all that data and editing that data.
Right, lovely.
That sounds great.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, excuse my ignorance here, but I've really just done my very first project in S6 and Total CMS, and I think we had a bit of dialogue on the forum, Joe. I had a bit of a painful weekend, but it was worth it.
You're coming around. You're coming around.
Oh, I'm a slow learner. That's one of the things of getting a bit older.
What's those chips on your shoulder? They're affecting you.
Anyway, so this particular client has given me access to the Google Drive for all the photography, and there's a host of irrelevant metadata on the photographs. Does that mean we can easily strip that out?
Yes. So, I mean, once you'll edit, you'll drag, it doesn't integrate. I don't integrate with Google Drive or anything like that. So you'd have to, drag and drop the image into Total CMS, and then it would upload to the server. And then at that point, it will, if the metadata exists inside the image, Total CMS will extract it out and store that data. And then you can actually manipulate it and display it.
This is Total CMS 2.
Yes. Well, like I said, version 1 already extracts the data, but version 2 will actually start allowing you to edit and display that data. And version 2 has been in development for quite a while. But 2021 is definitely the year for Total CMS 2, 100%.
I'll keep you to that.
Which will require
Please do.
7.4.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might have to retract that and go down to 7.3. I want to require 7.4 just because it has some nice performance features and some things that makes coding and development a little easier for me. And who doesn't love using the latest and greatest? So, but Big Sur, I was hoping they would update PHP that shipped with OS 10 or OS 11 now, right? To PHP 7.4. Sadly, it ships with PHP 7.3. And I'm very, very sad about that. So if I can't come up with a workaround or some other solution, I may have to require PHP 7.3, but it will require a minimum of 7.3. And just to let you guys know, I mean, PHP 8 actually shipped 2 weeks ago. So now it'll be a while until I start requiring anything with PHP 8 because, it takes a while for hosts to come along. So it'll be a year or more than before we start seeing, sites using PHP 8 in production. But 7.4 is definitely the long-term development release or maintenance release. Yeah, I was really hoping to require 7.4, but I may not. I may reluct and go down to 7.3.
Speaking personally, I'm quite happy about that because my current host, and as you all know, it's very hard to extract yourself from hosting companies. They just want to charge me more money to pay for a VPS to get 7.4, which it's just not economical.
Well, there's a lot of other hosting companies out there.
Yeah, and as I said on the forum, I'm trying to find an exit strategy, but it's not
Okay.
easy.
So cool. Any other questions? Anything you guys want to share? Anyone working on any cool projects? No?
I'm getting ready to. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Now I've got to convert my wife's website from WordPress to Rapid Weaver.
Okay.
But I've got to learn Total CMS because she does all the maintenance of it. So
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Project.
Now you've used Total CMS though before, correct?
No.
No?
So,
oh, I thought you have, Bill. Okay.
No.
Cool. Well, that'll be fun.
So I'm going to learn Foundation. I've used Foundation, so I'm going to have to learn Foundation 6 and Total CMS. So she'll give me since she's my wife, she'll give me a while to do it. So.
Okay. And does anyone have
Right.
is anyone currently have any roadblocks with Foundation 6? Like you're trying to learn it. It is a definite, a different workflow, a different way of thinking, right? Than traditionally we've had with RapidWeaver and Stacks over the years. Okay. So it's just curious, is anyone have any sort of roadblocks for, I just can't get my head around it. I'd love to, I could do some simple, demos and help you guys out, get over any roadblocks.
So we're going for 24 hours now today.
Joe, the hard part that I have with the whole foundations and the stacks and all that stuff is where to start and where to go from there. I've watched a ton of your videos, but I'm jumping around from one place to another.
Sure.
And then I'm going back and saying, well, wait a minute, what was that? And then I'm finding something on your Weaver site. And then there's other sites that have the other information. It's very hard to wrap your head around where is the proper path to start at the beginning and then move forward. I'm having a real hard time with that part of it. I'm jumping around all over the place.
I think, a lot of us, I get in this, as well, when I'm learning something, is you get into like this analysis paralysis, right? Where, there's so much information. You're just like, I gotta watch this video. And then like, I still don't feel like a pro. So I'm going to watch all these other videos. And then I got to go read this other thing on this website and go check out this other person's, Foundation Box. And I got to go look at all of his project files and, stuff like that, which Foundation Box is awesome. If you guys haven't checked that out, check it out. Davide did an amazing job. But where I think you need to do is you just need to sit down and say, I need to build this site. I need to struggle through it. I need to build this page, right? And I just need to sit down and struggle through it. No amount of video watching or, trying to read through documents is going to help you more than just sitting down and doing it and struggling through it, right? So you just need to, here, let's and
I don't disagree with you on that. And I've actually followed you, and I've had I got two screens here. I've had RapidWeaver open on the other side, or Foundations, and I'm following along, just trying to move stuff into place. There's a whole bunch of little things that kind of bug me. Like you say, when you're working on a menu, let's say, you say, oh, I'm just going to copy it right down here, and you copy it down. Well, what the hell's the key command to copy that down on there? I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's not Control-C. It's not Control-V.
No, it is actually. So, okay, that's interesting. That's great feedback. A lot of times, it is very easy. And I try, when I'm videos, I try to think of everything that as a beginner or someone who's new, but it's really hard it's easy to take knowledge for granted, right? Where, I'll do things where, you Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C, Command-V. A lot of times, maybe someone doesn't realize to do that. Or if you hold down the Alt key, here, I'll show you some, here, let me share my screen here.
And I'm sorry I don't have my camera on. I didn't turn it on, so Zoom, I have to restart.
It's no big deal. Okay, I know.
You guys don't want to see my face anyway. I'm just an old guy.
All right, well, I'm on a 13-inch screen here, so this little zoom window is pretty big, this little control bar. Okay. This is a project file, okay? And this isn't a very exciting one, actually. I probably should open something maybe it's a little more interesting, but I mean, so yes, so like, let's say I have this particular picture stack. If I select it and hit Control C, or I'm sorry, Command C, right? And then let's say I want to paste it right here. I just do Command V and it pastes that stack, right? So, you know, a lot of times if I just add here, let's add we're talking about a menu stack, right? So let's go ahead and add a menu in there. Okay. Sometimes if I have this menu, I just do Command C. And a lot of times when I'm doing demos for menus, I just do paste, paste, paste. This is already selected, so I just do Command C, Command V multiple times, and it pastes it for me, right? So, you know, there's that. And then there's also, if you have a stack, want to copy this stack, you know, let's say I want to copy, let's just do the menu. If I hold down the Option key, so right now with my finger, I'm holding down the Option key on my keyboard, and I drag this, okay? Instead of moving it, it's going to create a copy.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is common. This is not something specific to stacks. This is something just, you know, general in Mac, right? So like if I go to my desktop, okay, let's just create a new thing. We'll go to my downloads. Okay. Let's say this file here. If I hold my Option key down and I drag this file over here, it's going to copy it. Right. So I mean, that's just a common OS X thing. And so luckily, Isaiah, the developer of Stacks, he's like extremely anal about all predictable Mac uses. So all stuff like that he's already coded in. So, you know, if I, you know, Command C that, you know, thing and Command V over there, it'll paste it. Well, I don't want to replace it.
And while I was trying to copy what you were doing, you know, pausing you and going and doing it, I was using the typical Mac command. I've been a Mac user for 30 years. So I was using, and for some reason, it wasn't copying. It wasn't doing that. And I'm thinking to myself, is he on a PC? What the hell am I doing wrong here?
No, yeah. I mean, just Command C, Command V. That's how you copy paste, you know, the Option dragging. You know, sometimes in my videos, I will do this little trick where I double click on a stack header, and it will hide. Now that is actually a hidden preference in Stacks. Isaiah will add, he says probably in Stacks 4.2, he'll add a actual preference for that. There is a thread, I think actually Chris Powers, who's here today, started it on the Weaver space. If you just, here, I'll find it and then I'll paste it. So we go to search. And if we search for, I think defaults is the command. So actually to act a terminal command that you would have to run. And here it was, yep, it was Chris. So yeah, now there's different commands if you have a version of downloaded for online, or if you're using the setup version of RapidWeaver, there's two different commands. But if you want that, yeah, here, I'll copy this thread here. And let me find the chat somehow. Where's the chat? Chat. Paste that in. There, I put it in the chat box, the URL to this thread. If you want those, just paste this command inside terminal. And then from then on, you'll be able to when you double click on a label, you can automatically hide and show it. Which
and you know, that was one of the things that was perplexing. I was trying to figure out how the hell you were doing that.
So there you go. Yep. So that's kind of a hidden preference that Isaiah added, like, I don't know, it was like a year. I think he unveiled that trick during the conference last year. So yeah, it was kind of an insider knowledge for people. And then Chris, you know, post. There we go. A little insider tidbit. Right? Do I do that? I might take for granted. I select, right? So that's something not if you hold down the command key, you can actually select multiple stacks. Okay. And if it's the same stack, so like these are all three of these are picture stacks, actually change the settings. And it will change that setting in all three stacks.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Which is
We've done that.
you know, you can select multiple. Like if I select multiple of these, I can then drag all three of those somewhere if I wanted. Now that's probably gonna mess me up. Oh no. Oh, interesting. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. Okay. Oh, there we go. Command Z. So yeah, multi-select is very cool. And that works with any stack. So you can select, and again, if it's selecting, you can modify it. Now, if you select multiple stacks that don't have the same settings, you know, you don't see the settings obviously because they're different, right? So yeah, that's another cool little trick that you might see me do.
And I'm sorry, you broke up. What was the key command you were using for that?
Oh, you just hold down the command key. And then you just select all the stacks that you want.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So it's exactly just like in Finder or any other app. You just hold down the command key. Oh, by the way, Isaiah released a new beta, Stacks 4.1.3 beta, and he's been playing with some of the drag and drop issues that people have been having, and it seems to be so much nicer now. So it looks like he's improved that drag and drop issues, and especially there is some oddity with how swatches are laid out, and it seems to be a little bit better now in terms of moving these around. So that's kind of cool. Working on that. So if anyone is a part of Isaiah's Slack channel, you can download that beta if you want access to that. Also, I'm not sure when he plans on releasing it, but I would assume probably this week.
Sorry, Joe, where did you paste the double click line to?
Okay, so you just open up Terminal.
Yeah.
And you paste it right there.
No. Where did you the code?
Where did I paste it? It's in the chat. So on the bottom, I can't show you my Zoom window, but on the bottom there's an icon that says chat, and there's a little chat room, and then I pasted the link to that.
Okay. See.
You got it? Cool.
Yet.
Hey Joe, I've got a question about the total CMS side.
Sure.
And so, and again, I'm new to Foundation 6 and Total CMS, so pardon my ignorance here.
You're doing the whole shebang all at once.
Right. Well, and the reason I
dove into the punishment.
Yeah. Ignorance, hell, I'm asking about key combinations. Come on.
Well, the reason I dove into Total CMS is to use the blogging functions, the additional blog feature. And just conceptually, I understand that you build the site with Foundation 6, and then the next step would be you CMSify it, right, to be able to edit it offline. Where does that blog step come into play?
So I mean, really, at any point, I mean, you could just insert the blog. So have you watched the video? I did a video on like a blog in 30 minutes or something like that. I think I did that video with Foundation 1, but I mean, it doesn't really matter that the steps for Total CMS are still exactly the same.
Okay.
So yeah, essentially at any point you can add your blog. So there's two kind of components to blog. There's the blog list, right, which contains a list of all your blog posts.
Right.
And then there's the blog post page, which is the page that will display the individual blog post. Okay, so basically when you click on a post in your list, it'll take you to this page, right?
Okay.
So basically you're just going to build out, I don't know, maybe it's a /blog, I don't know, whatever URL you want, right? So maybe it's mydomain.com/blog, and then that will contain your list, right, of everything. So then obviously on the admin side, you have basically those two components as well. So you have a blog list on the admin side, which lets you click on it and go to the form page, which is similar to, you know, editing a blog post or creating a new blog post. So in terms of what step do you do this in? I don't know. I think after you get an initial version or design of your site, you can really do this at any point. You don't need to CMSify the entire, you know, site in terms of using, you know, implementing a blog. You know, when I mean CMSifying the site is like, you don't need to make every single text element or image on the site editable to CMS before you do blog. You know, there really is no order to that. And probably eventually, once you get a little more experience, you'll be able to design a site and do a blog all at the same time. Like, you know, Josh and Chris and, you know, some of the guys here that I know are pretty proficient at that, right? But definitely, you know, I do think getting some sort of initial design done, so you kind of know what your site is going to look like, you know, and then you can implement the blog. Does that kind of answer your question? That blog in 30 minutes videos is pretty good.
I'll do that.
That's what got me going.
As someone that did that this weekend, could I pass on a little tip, which I found very helpful? I think Joe, you used one of the Rapid Weaver 8 themes for that video.
Okay.
It's one of the built-in Rapid Weaver 8 themes. I just basically replicated the exact project step by step that you did in that video. And I felt that was a game changer for me. Just kind of doing it that way, a carbon copy, and then the next stage is doing it in Foundation 6. But I think I would have found it too difficult to go straight into Foundation 6.
Okay. Yeah.
So you actually build it with a Rapid
Weaver. And in that, I supply a
Mm-hmm.
download. If you go to the Total CMS product page, there is a download of data that you can download, right? The blog posts in there. So, and I'm pretty sure I use that same demo data in that. So yeah, definitely download that demo data. So you don't need to worry about creating any data. You just need to worry about, you know, actually getting things working.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So good point. Thank you very much, Gary.
Yeah.
Joe, I got a question for you.
Sure, David.
I'm a graphic designer as opposed to a coder. I know coding a little bit from 30 years ago, but I'm not a proficient coder by any means.
No problem. That's why you use Stacks.
Exactly. That's why I use Stacks, and that's why I use Rapid Weaver, because I'm very visual.
Yep.
So I have a project though where I have to build a visual database of the Bible, and it's images that, yeah, big project. And the guys that I took to do the coding for the database, they're very engineering oriented and said, we can't do the UI. And so they said, will you do the UI? And even though I have absolutely no time, right, they're building it in AW3, I guess it is, right, in this open source kind of environment. I need to, I want to be able to design the user interface in Rapid Weaver. Is there a way to do that? Is there a way to get their code, right, into a Rapid Weaver window, so to speak, and be able to?
So I'm not sure what code what language they're particularly using, but you know, Rapid Weaver works best in like a traditional what's called a MAMP environment. So like that includes HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP, right? I mean, that's kind of its bread and butter. You could use other languages if your server supported it. That is possible, but so that's actually one of the reasons I love Rapid Weaver and Stacks is that it's a very powerful intermediary in between code editing and straight WYSIWYG, right? Because if you want to dip into the code and, you know, add your own code, you can. Within a Stacks page, you know, using an HTML stack, you can just add whatever code you want to the page, right? If you're using Foundation 6, there's also a PHP stack, which makes things a little bit simpler if you're doing PHP. And then, yeah, so you can add your own, all your own code into Rapid Weaver if you wanted. You don't need to use it in a stack.
No, so
Yes.
the question really is, they're designing an Amazon Web Services, right? And so the database is
Yes.
sitting physically there, and I want to
Well,
be able.
Amazon Web Services is just a host, right? So
Right.
depending on you can set up different types of servers on AWS, and they support a traditional Apache web server just like any other hosting company does. Just think of AWS as just another hosting company. It's just big and named Amazon. But all it is a web server.
I can use Rapid Weaver tools, so to speak, to design the user interface without having to like
Yes.
copy and paste stuff over.
Correct. Yes, you can. That is possible. Yes.
Right. Okay. And what tools would you use to do that within Rapid Weaver?
I mean, what would I use? I use Foundation 6. I think that's pretty good.
That
But
gives you the most
it's really what you're
flexibility.
used to. I mean,
Right.
you can use a traditional theme if you want, or you can use it doesn't really matter. Use what you like or
No,
what you're used to.
I like the approach of Foundation that it gives you
Mhm.
full control over the layout
Yes.
of the page, and you're not limited by whatever the designer of that
Yes,
particular.
and to be honest,
theme-
if these guys are coders and you're exporting a Foundation 6 site,
Mhm.
they're gonna see the code that it generates and as long as they understand HTML, it's not gonna look Greek to them.
Right.
The
So that's
the
what I did
code
up
that
till now is I exported it to its own folder and then sent them that, and they're trying to work that way, and it seems a little clumsy to me.
okay. So you could go the other way where think of the code that they give you as like a little widget, right? Like, okay, on this part of the page, we need to display this data, right? Give me the code that you want to put here, and then but basically they'll give you some code and you probably put it inside of an HTML stack.
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's how that could work. How you can integrate their code into Rapid Weaver.
Got it. Okay, that's what I suspected, but I thought there might even
Yeah.
be an easier way than that. But right.
Yep.
Okay, that makes
Yeah, just think of, again, I don't know what server-side code they're using, so what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I don't know what tech they're using, everything, but that's they have some data they need to display inside of your design. You just need to get the code for that, what's going to be
Exactly.
displayed there.
Right.
And then they give you that code, you plop that into an HTML stack, and you're good to go.
Right. Okay, great. Great. Okay, very good. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Joe, I've got a question concerning, forms and the email, formatting the email from a form.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been using the regular form and, email actions and stuff. And I was having some initial problems with things not going through. I think I've got that resolved. But the thing I'm curious about is under the email action, you've got a custom email template and you've got that generic thing in there unless you check that. And I've just been kind of using that to throw code in to put out a real simplistic email to go back to people with the data from the form. But what are the other options in terms of, like if you really wanted to put out a form and send back an email that was really nicely formatted, like you see with MailChimp and some of these other things, is there another way to do it other than using can you do it within
Rapid Weaver?
Within the Rapid Weaver form thing you
Email
have?
stacks.
Yep, email stacks. So
That's what
my
I was
email
wondering.
stacks
That's what I
work.
was asking about. I hadn't used those yet, and so that's what I was wondering about.
So yeah, my email stacks work great with the Foundation 6 forms. Essentially,
Awesome.
There's a setting inside the email action where you can paste in custom email. Basically, what you do is you design your entire email, and then when you preview inside the email inside the email project, it gives you HTML for the email. Basically, you copy that entire email and you paste it into the email stack setting, and you're done.
But be sure to use the macros.
Yeah.
And then you can use the various little macros to insert the data from the form into the email. If you have any Davides if you have any, I think you have one of Davide's projects. I think,
I got
right,
two of
Bill?
his projects.
He actually does that in his projects.
Okay, I'll go back and look at that.
I know he does it in his live projects. Actually, maybe I misspoke. I don't know if he does demo projects that he built. I don't know. That's an interesting one, but it's possible.
But you have those email stacks. So you build out your form and stuff with the email stacks, or
yes. So, yeah. Okay. Let's do a quick and dirty example here. Form.
This is one of those deals of somebody being buried in all of the minutia that you have, trying to figure out.
Yeah. Yep.
What are all
Okay. And let's just build. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use one of the templates just to make things a little faster.
It creates like some of the nicest emails.
If people are learning Foundation 6, one of the ways that I kind of learned a lot of it was by going and looking at the templates and just breaking them down and figuring out all the different swatches and things that were being used and what they did.
Okay, so
and I was
here's a simple form. Okay,
right.
And in this form, I have a name field.
Right.
I see the email, and then I have a text area where it's called comments.
Right.
Okay. Now, if we look at the email action, you'll see here that I provide a custom email template. Is you can actually use Markdown in here. Okay. So you can type in Markdown, and then to insert the data from the fields, you can actually use these little curly braces with the.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing right now.
And then curly brace name, email, colon, then the email, and then the comments. Okay. Right. And then this up here will generate an H3. Okay. So you can use Markdown in here.
Right.
But let's take this a step farther. Okay. Let me see if I do have it on this. Nice. Okay. Here's my Cyber Monday email. Okay. Made with my email stacks. Okay. Now when I preview this, I get this inlined email. Okay. Now, first off, if I ever want to inject any of the form data in here, let's say right here, I wanted the name. Okay. So you would put curly brace name, okay, in there. Okay. And whatever other fields you want to, inject from the form, you would put that there, and then you would preview the email and click copy to clipboard. Okay. And then you would go into your other project
and just paste it in.
And I'd go in here and I'd paste it right in there, and you're done.
Okay, cool.
And now you have this nice, pretty, beautiful email that went with the Foundation 6 forms. Pretty cool, right?
Brilliant.
Okay. Just what I wanted to see.
Like I have it, I'm using it with one of my websites. When someone signs up for an email list, it will add that into my Sendy, and Sendy will send out an email saying, thank you for joining our email list. And that's all made with the email stacks. And it sends out a discount code for the online store.
Okay.
Yes. Here, while we're on email, here, let me share. Am I still sharing my screen?
No.
No, I'm not. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my Sendy install. As you see, here's the email that I sent out today, right? Now, inside Sendy, you can actually create email templates. So if you see, like, I have This Week in Weaverspace, I have Deals of the Week, and I have live stream emails, right? And these are all emails. Maybe you guys are subscribed to those lists, right? But if I ever want to send out a this week, and then here is the template for that email, right? And this template was using my email stacks, okay? And same thing for all the other ones. So if I go and let's do like is the template for my deal I can then edit, right? And all those are done inside templates. So you can create templates here. And then when you, basically you would, you go into source, and then you would just paste in the HTML from the email stacks, and you're good to go. Right? That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's how I use my email stacks with Sendy. Okay. Then there's also like autoresponders, like Josh was talking about, where if someone automatically, like if you ever purchase something from me and my realizes it's the first time you've ever purchased from me, if I go to view all lists, I go into, I think it's this guy, autoresponders. I have a welcome to Weaverspace email. I want to preview. There we go. This is the email. If this is the first time you've ever purchased from me, you will get this email. And this email was designed with my email stacks as well.
Saw that. Joe,
take care, Gary. Thanks for coming on, Gary.
Can I ask a question about?
Bye.
Right.
Joe, can I ask a question about? I've got a whole lot of headers on my site, and I want to change them all. I mean, there are hundreds of them, and I want to change them all with one fell swoop. How can I target a header?
So you want to change? What do you mean by change? You want to make it?
I want to change the format. I want to change the padding, the background.
Okay, so you're using Foundation 6?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's do that then. Easy peasy. It's a piece of cake.
It might be to you.
Okay. Piece of cake. Now let's build out a little example here. Let's delete that. Let's just add in header.
And can I add a control to that? That it's got to have a date in it. If it's got a date in it, you can change it.
So no? If the text of the header has a date?
If the text in that header has a date in it, then it can be changed. If it doesn't,
nah.
No, I didn't think you'd be able to do
that.
No.
That's not easy. Okay.
But okay, from that.
Yep. So there's a couple different ways. So let's just affect the I'll affect the color of these two headers, just because that'll be something easily we can see. Okay. Yep. So I'm gonna do that just with the font color swatch. Okay. Font color. Let's make it red.
Right.
I'll make it red. Okay. So first off, I'll show you how we can do that with a class. Okay. I'm gonna do a class of red. Okay. So here I have the class. I put a class of red. So anything that gets a class of red should turn red, right? So here in this header, if I type in red, that header now turns red.
Yeah. I can do that.
Okay. So that's one way. Now remember, we also have multi-select. So like I can select multiple of these. I can go in here and I can type red.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing at the moment.
Okay, cool. Now be careful though. Let's say this one has a class of, my header or whatnot, but this one doesn't have that. Now, if I select multiple of these, okay, and then I type in red, well, guess what? They're both now going to get my header and red. Does that,
right.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Okay, because this one didn't have my header, but since I selected multiple and changed both of them, now they both have it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just be careful with that. So what's another way we can do this? Now these are both H3s on the page. So let's show you how we can apply this to all H3s. So if I go to CSS here, okay, I can just go ahead and type H3. Okay, now if you notice, that didn't make these red. Okay, but if we want, we have a force button here, which should, oh, well, you won't see that in edit mode. should see it in preview.
Oh, yes,
It's just the way Stack's edit mode kind of works. Let me show you that again. Let me see. Let's turn off the important. I'm pretty sure we might need it. Yeah, we don't need it. Okay. So that's one way we could do that. Okay. So let me show you what that was again. So if you go to the CSS here in the swatch selector, it's the last one. And in here, you can add in any CSS selector that you wanted. Now, let's say this was an H2, or let's say this is an H2, and this one's an H3. And let's add one more, and we'll make this one an H4. Let's say I wanted to this swatch to be affected on all of these. Okay, I want it to affect H2, H3, and H4. Okay, so inside of a CSS selector, you can actually select multiple things. So, and this, I should note that this is going to select every H3 on the page.
Yeah.
Okay, so like if I have an H3 way down here, it's going to affect that one too.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm showing you right now will affect all H3s on the page.
Yeah.
Okay, but if we do a comma, we can then do H2, and then we also add an H4. So I can do H3, H2, H4.
With commas.
Okay.
Commas
and so you can have spaces in between if you want as well, to make it a little easier to read. Okay. Right. And this is bothering me. I got to fix that so they're in order. Okay. So now we have H2, H3, and H4. Okay. And again, just because of how Stack's edit mode is, you won't see those in this particular situation, won't see them. But if we go ahead and preview, we'll see that all three of those are red.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So yes, this is an easy way to apply things to all of a tag, right? So if you notice, let's preview that really quick. In HTML, if we look at these, right? This is an H2. Let's make that a little bit bigger. You guys can see. So this is a tag, right? So this is called HTML, an H2 tag, which is the header 2, right? And this is an H3 tag, right? So in CSS, we can apply anything to those tags. So like if I do, I don't know, div, right? Which is kind of stupid. You wouldn't necessarily want, because divs are like the generic element that is like tons of them all over the page. Okay. But so you can do, or if you want to apply this to all paragraphs on the page, you could use P.
Yeah.
Right. Or all anchors, all links, which is an A tag, right? You could do that as well. Okay. Now, also, a lot of people aren't really familiar with page elements.
Yeah.
These are like pre-made, a little bit more complex selectors. And what's kind of cool about this, actually, let's find one that I know is kind of complex. There. Okay. So if you select an element from this page element list, so this particular one is submenu items. So this is the actual CSS selector that basically, if I wanted, I could then type that in here. I mean, it's swapped out, right? But if I were to copy this selector and type that here, that's exactly what it does, right? Which is kind of cool. So this you can kind of see what this is actually using behind the scenes, right? And I did that to kind of inadvertently teach you guys CSS a little bit, right? It's my sneaky little way of doing that. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And as you see, some of them get quite complex, right? Some of them are a little complex. Some of them are simple, right? So like, if you just want to style a menu, it's just that. That's all it is. Okay. So yeah, a lot of these are just pre-baked ones. So like if you wanted to style an accordion title, and there's as you see here, there's all kinds of stuff, and there's even total CMS stuff in here now too. So yeah, a lot of people aren't familiar with what these elements are. They allow you to style all of a particular thing on the page, right? And actually, like, I don't think I have all headers. I don't have all headers.
So could I put
anyway.
BG : light gray or something in that CSS selector?
In here?
Yeah.
So you want a BG :
light gray or
purple?
dark gray or something? Oh yeah, something or purple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will that work?
Yes, you could. And that will target anything that has that. Well, if you want to use a class, like kind of utility classes do that, there's some trickery there. So you'd have to use a dot if you want to use that as a class. Here, let's do this. Let's do BG::purple, and let's make it purple. Okay, purple. Okay. Sorry if this text is really tiny. Now this colon in here is a little geeky, where you can't actually have a colon by itself. You actually have to have a backslash in front of it. So if you wanted to start creating your own cool little classes like that, the colon, you can't just use a colon. You have to actually escape it with a backslash. And actually, this is just a class. So at this point, we could actually just go to the class field, and we could do that, right? And if you're using class, you don't need to put the dot. But if you're in the selector, you would need to use a dot. Okay. So at this point, we now have BG::purple, and anything that I add BG::purple to. Now in here, when I add it to the class, I don't need to have that little slash. It's only.
So if I'm looking at I'm looking at doing that.
Oh,
BG::purple to H6. Oh, hello.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I'm looking at putting BG::purple to all H6 headers.
Okay. So here, let's do background. Okay. Because so we'll do a background, and then we could do BG::purple, which I need to put in purple, and we'll escape, right?
Yeah.
And then background color, set the color to purple. And if you notice, I already added BG::purple there, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you can kind of create your own. If you wanted to follow my utility class kind of syntax that uses these colons, it's a little tricky that you have to put that backslash where the colon is.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Now could he, like, I think what he was looking to do is if he has like an H3, H4, targeting those to make the background purple automatically.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So at that point, what you would do is, instead of using BG::purple, you would go to the CSS selector and go H3, H2, H4, right?
Yeah.
And there you go.
How the hell did that happen?
So you have to worry about that BG::. Thanks,
what
Josh.
he's doing, no worries. So on the background, on his background swatch there, he just put the CSS for those headers that you want to target, and that's it.
Yeah. So I would if I wanted to make the background purple, I add a background swatch. I set the color to purple, and then inside the CSS selector, I just target all of my headers that I want.
Yeah, gotcha. Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
The best thing that Joe has ever showed to me was inspecting and using that inspector to discover what code is being used. And once you learn how to read this, the classes and CSS, I was able to, from what I learned in RapidWeaver, was able to write out a whole CSS and HTML to customize a non-RapidWeaver site. So this stuff is fantastic to learn. When you can learn how to read this, it's really going to help you.
Now here's a cool little thing.
Way faster.
So this purple background is now. All right, hold on. This one thing is bothering me really quick. Hold on. Let me just add a little alt class in here. And now we can actually read the headers. Okay. What if I only wanted the background of the header to reach the header? Like it goes all the way across. I don't want that. Right? What can we do? How can we fix that? Okay. So here in this example, you're going to have one header. So if we wrap this around a one column, okay. Essentially, if I set the one column to be shrink to content, and we'll set medium to inherit. Okay, so shrink to content, and then I preview that. Voila.
And you could then put padding in there to put a bit of space around the edge.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. So then I would do what is this? This is a H2, right? Then I can put in a little padding swatch, and I can target all H2s on my page. Okay, and I want a padding of 20 pixels. There we go.
beautiful. Yeah, so I'm getting there, but it's hard. It's hard.
So there you go. I mean, I mean, this is just, you know, if I here, let's just copy this on the page. Put that down there. Put another one out at the bottom. So now I have 3 H2s on my page. Okay, and they are all have the purple with the 20 pixel padding, and all that was this background swatch and this padding swatch. That was it.
Real. Right. I'll try. And I hope it doesn't blow up.
And what's cool if later on you're like, oh, you know what? I don't like that purple. You can just, you know, change this one swatch to orange, and guess what? Now they're all orange.
Yeah, you can holiday theme your website with a couple of swatch changes.
Yeah. And you know, in this site styles, if we add this to a partial, this one change, I can then change all H2s style across my entire site with one change. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'll come back to you if I've got any problems.
So most of the time, you know. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, this is great, but definitely in 1 or 2 months or in a year, when I have the next project in Rapid Weaver in Foundation 6, I think, oh shit, where was it mentioned, and how do I the hell gonna say it, just
reproduce.
How do I reproduce it? Yeah. So I think Rich said it before. It's all those tons of videos and tutorials, and definitely there was in one of those videos and tutorials, there was just the little part of information which now I am looking for, and this this sometimes is a bit annoying, you know.
That's why, I mean, so I do have a lot of long form videos, but I also have other videos that are like, you know, 5 minutes or 2 minutes, you know. So I've tried to mix it up so that, you know, they're not hour-long videos, right? You know, maybe are there nuggets that you might need to know inside of an hour-long video? There might be, but I don't really have a great solution, you know, on how to solve that yet.
I like the 5-minute videos. I think they're very helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's why, you know, I try to do a little bit of both. You know, I do see the benefit of those, and I do plan on doing more. I have a full list of videos that I need to work on. And eventually over time, we'll just get more of those. So yeah.
Good.
Even the 30 minutes Total CMS block overview was great, I think. Yeah. Because the Total CMS block thing is pretty complex, and I'm still learning. But this 30 minutes tutorial was great, and it helped a lot. It really helped a lot.
Cool. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, when will you ship the demo project, like F1, Foundation 1? We have the demo project, and all the things is explained in a demo project, and we can use this as a starting point.
Yes. Yep, and I have a few demo projects already set up for Foundation 6, and I'm working on the new demo site for Foundation 6, and as soon as that's done, I'll supply the project file for that as well, so you guys can see how I built out that project. Yeah, trying to give you guys as much information and resources as possible. I know sometimes that can cause an overload, but I don't know, maybe more is better than not enough.
Are you kidding me? It took me 10 minutes to Google Total CMS to even know what the hell CMS meant.
Oh, really?
I'm like, what the hell is CMS?
Same here.
There's a lot of things labeled CMS, let me tell you, Joe.
There is. There is.
One thing, Joe, that bothers me every now and then is the thing with the typography. It's what I posted today. I got this swatch, made a swatch, Web Font Pro in Foundation 6 and loaded the Gaystar font, and it displayed yesterday. Today, out of the blue, it just shows me the Helvetica or the sans serif, not the real Helvetica, but the sans serif in Safari. But in Chrome, it displays the right Gaystar font. So how can that happen?
So different browsers support different font file formats. So I remember that question. Did you ever supply with a URL?
Yes,
for that?
I sent you a private message.
Oh, okay. You want me to look at that now? Is it okay if other people here see it as well?
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
I've got to run, everyone. Got to go back to work. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Ooh.
Nice talking with everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Cheers.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Share my desktop here. Okay, so here is the
Yeah.
page. Okay, so which font is it? This one?
No, this is just an SVG. No, it's
Okay.
the brand shape is Ihre design. Yes, that one. That should be the Gaystar, the Gaystar bold. And it uses the sans serif instead.
Okay, oops. So it's this H1 here. So it should be Gesta bold. Okay.
Right.
See if there's any sort of issues loading.
And in Chrome, it is displayed correctly.
I gotta go, guys.
All right, take care, Chris.
I'll see y'all Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So in Chrome, it displays properly. Interesting.
No, it's not. It's just on my machine.
It's not. Yep. Yeah, and it's probably on your machine, probably because maybe you have that font family installed. So I'm not seeing that the font files actually ever get loaded at all.
Yeah, how did you load the font?
So did you added the WAF file, the URLs to those in here, or?
No, just the essential, only the WAF file.
Okay. So you added it to the normal here?
No. The crazy thing is, maybe that's why I saw it yesterday and the days before. Maybe it's just activated on my Mac here locally. I just typed in, just a second, in the Web Font Pro stack, family name Gaystar dash bold, and then it showed me the right.
So you typed it in here, but you didn't load any font files.
No. Do I have to?
Okay. Well, in order to use the Web Font Pro, essentially this might be working on your machine if you have the font installed in your machine.
Okay.
But it won't work anywhere else unless you actually upload those font files to your server, and then you put the URLs to those font files in the stack.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So,
if I'm
so
visiting
you
your
need to
website,
upload-
I need to be able to access your font, because if I don't have it, the website serves the fonts to you, and that's how I
Exactly.
will see what your font is. So yes,
Correct.
you'll see it locally because you are on your computer with that font, but the moment you go out there, no one else is going to have it. They won't see it.
Okay.
So you have to embed that font. So you can either, depending on your licensing for your font, you can, if you have the ability to upload it to your web server, or for like me, I use Adobe Web Font, Adobe Fonts. So then I actually load from Adobe the fonts, and they get served to my site.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, bye guys, I must go.
Okay, great.
Oh,
Yeah,
take care.
great.
Bye, Marcelo. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get going myself. See y'all later.
Enjoy the theater.
Yeah.
I have to go. Thanks a lot. Thanks for letting me join in. Hopefully,
Oh, no, thank you for coming. Take care.
Okay, great. Thanks, Joe. That's probably the point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Perfect. Any other questions? Anyone
Sure.
too scared to ask your question?
Sure, I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
And that's to do with the site lock setup. I just started with site lock, and I saw on your video tutorial your login page for the forum, the summit. You'd somehow modified the default login page from SiteLock. How did you do that? Was that something in RapidWeaver, or did you just change the code on the members section of SiteLock?
I'm trying to remember what I did for that. Because I don't use SiteLock for that any longer. I don't have the project file on this machine. From what I remember, so my SiteLock stacks don't let you build your own form to integrate with SiteLock. You have to use one of the forms that you create in SiteLock. Okay. But in my SiteLock stack, I let you use theme styles. I'm pretty sure there's a checkbox called use theme styles or something like that to that effect. So basically, instead of using the styles from SiteLock, which no offense to Adrian, I don't think are all that beautiful, I use theme styles, and essentially it then imports the form styles from the theme that you're using. And in that case, I was using Foundation. So it would then use the Foundation CSS to apply styles to the form. But the form itself was using one of SiteLock's forms.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah, I was just looking at how.
Yeah. So inside SiteLock, you have to create a form, and then you're given a number ID.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever. And then you put that ID into the form stack for SiteLock, so that the stack itself knows which form to pull from the SiteLock database. And then if you have that setting checked to use theme styles, whatever theme you're using will apply its styles to the form. Obviously, I have no control over what that theme is doing or what styles it's applying. But that's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem. My pleasure.
I got a little another topic on the admin post with blogging. There's a date field which you can add in the blog form stack. And if I now choose as the date format, the 30th September 2017 is the typical German.
Yeah, on the admin side, use numbers only. It'll make your life easier.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you're displaying the actual words in the admin form instead of just numbers.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Choose one of the formats just on the admin side that has just numbers.
Okay.
Okay. and that should solve that issue for you.
Okay, because displayed the 30 is not DEZ but DIC.
Okay.
2017.
Got it. So yeah, on the there are issues with displaying, the textual values of months rather than just using numbers. Right now just use numbers.
Okay.
On the content side, if you want, you can change it to use words, and it should work okay. But yes, there are issues with the forms, more so than just things being misspelled when you use the alpha, things for months.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
great, cool.
But if you have issues on the content side, there shouldn't be. But if there's any issues displaying the format the way you want on the content side, let me know. We'll fix that.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it works because I have a lot of German users using Total CMS, and getting umlauts working was not easy. It seems so simple. It's just a different character with just some dots on it. No, it's not easy. That is the biggest pain in the ass ever.
I'm so sorry.
I started getting. I have a few Japanese users of Total CMS now, and that was a whole nother level of pain in the butt too. But because I already made it work with umlauts and stuff, it was a lot easier. But yeah, that's a whole pain in the butt. And then we got Arabic, which is then left to right language. No, right to left language. And that was just like, just trying to deal with all that stuff, man, that's not easy.
Yeah, I can believe it.
See these gray hairs on my beard? That was part of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty soon I'll be like Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
At least they're still there.
Yeah, I want to ask something. It's possible to, in all websites now we have horizontal scrolling.
Yes.
Can we have vertical scrolling and cross scrolling, something like that, with a very wide background, like 10,000 pixels, something like that?
So I have one stack that does horizontal scrolling. It's called Horizon. Actually, I have two. I have another stack called Screens, which is like a one-page website thing, which kind of has like you can kind of scroll vertically. But those websites where when you scroll down the page, instead of scrolling down, it scrolls sideways. I know that's trendy. You will never see a product from me that does that because I hate it. So I'm just being honest. I hate websites that do that. I seriously hate websites that do that. It feels so unnatural that you won't see a product from me, at least, that does that. So I'm sorry. But I do have Horizon is a pretty cool stack that lets you have a horizontal container that expands wider than the website, and you can scroll through it. And then Screens, I have the Screen stack, which kind of makes your web page like one big huge slideshow sort of thing. But I feel that is more it's more intrinsic. It doesn't, as you scroll down the page, move sideways. With that said, earlier on I was talking about drift, and with drift you can make things animate any way you want by scrolling down. So in theory, while I haven't played around with it, you might be able to build something like that with drift, but that's not my intentions for it. Because as I said, I really despise websites that do that. And I pretty much immediately close any website that has that effect because I really don't like it. So sorry if that response makes you sad.
So is a date for Drift coming out?
There is not a date yet. Early 21. That's all I can give you right now.
Okay. That's the most eagerly anticipated one, but I'm waiting for.
Oh yeah. Okay. I did make progress on it. I didn't work on it this month. In October, I worked on it quite a bit, and hopefully now we're in December. Things are winding down a little bit. I'll work on a little bit more. So it'll probably be after the. I don't know if I'll release it before the Nick Cate. I'll probably release the Nick Cate stacks, and it'll be the first like major release from my new stuff. It'll be the first one that I release is Drift.
Pretty cool. All right. You got one sold already.
Sure.
I actually have a question. If you got time.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Playing with seams on my site, I was just wondering if there's an equivalent for the sides of seams. So if I've got like a column with seams top and bottom, is there like an equivalent styling thing I can do for the sides of it so that I could
Oh, you want seams, a vertical seam basically?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not right now. I do want to add vertical seams into it so you can, it'll natively support that. But yeah, I don't have a great solution for you there.
I'm trying to do sort of like a repeating side image really, but
one thing you could try if you put a seam inside of Target, okay?
Right.
Target can rotate things.
That sounds like a kludge, but
yes, it is. It could work, but I don't know. So if you have both stacks, you can play around with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Target can rotate things. So you rotate it 90 degrees and try to get it to do it. But yeah, I do want to add, official support for vertical seams. It's, I don't know when I'll get to that though.
Okay, thanks.
Bevel. I think Bevel is still available from Big White Duck. I believe it doesn't have all the features that Seams does, but it does have some vertical ones. Check out Bevel.
Yeah, all right, I'll do that. Thanks.
From Big White Duck.
Joe, how did you do the effect on your Weaver space, the blurring, hover effect, the captions coming up?
So that is part of the new grid in Total CMS 2.
Okay.
But with that said, you will have that ability. So I'm working on a new swatch pack for Foundation 6. And it will have part of that will have some effects such as blurring and stuff like that. Actually, you
that
you
is
might
built
be able
into
to
blog
do.
posts though. You can in a blog list. You can hover with captions.
You can do that right now, but you won't be able to. So he's talking about on Weaver Space when you hover over, it'll like something captions will go up and then the background will be expanded and blurred. You can do some of that actually in the current version of Blog List.
Yeah, because I'm doing that with the Hyatt site
you can.
where you hover and the summary comes up.
On the Total CMS, on Total CMS product page, there's a demo project there called Blog List Layouts. And I have demos of that there. Okay. I forgot about that. Thanks, Josh.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I've seen those where the captions come from the bottom or from the top, or but I'm just fond of the blurring effect.
Sure. So
because that would be great for showing a portfolio of photos.
So you're talking about this one, right?
Yeah.
Where the image blurs. Okay, so here, let's just go to, here it is right here, Total CMS. I don't have it on this, let's just download it right now. Blog layouts. Zoom, get out of my way. Let's see if it just works out of the box. Hopefully. No post found. Let me see if I can on a second. What the hell? I have data in there. How come it's not working? Oh, maybe it's. There's data. That's not working. Oh.
I can show you if you go to HyattStudios.com, that one has like an old version on, I think, Foundation 1. If you scroll down.
How do you spell it? I forgot.
HIATT.
Oh, HAT.
No. Hyatt. So HIAttStudios.com. That's their old website, but it has it. A very rudimentary version of it. When you scroll down, it's on the right there. So if you hover, go back up. You hover any of these so yeah, hover that. So that's,
yeah, there you go.
That's a very rudimentary version of it.
Yeah. So yes, as you see there, you can do that.
And that's like moving box with blog posts.
Okay.
So if we look at this here, let's look at the project so you can kind of show you the settings. So let's see. Yeah, this layout. Let's just look at this really quick. Full height. Oh, here. So on the image, hover, animate, blur, grow, shrink, shadow. There you go. So on the gallery image stack, oops, there's the hover animate setting.
Oh, okay.
Blur, grow, shrink, and shadow.
So if you're using your blog posts to like show, like every post is a new portfolio item, which is similar to that other website where they have a new item for every portfolio, and then you can do all those effects that you're looking for right into.
And then inside this layout stack here, I have the title and the date. Inside the layout stack, I say show on hover. Okay, so that by default in this layout, it'll show you the image, and then when you hover, it'll blur the image, make it grow, it'll add a shadow, and then on top of it, it'll show the title and the date.
Okay, and how is it? How do you make it to show on top of it?
So inside this layout stack, you say position absolute top. Okay, I have it set to full height and full width, and then I show the shadow.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, if you just copy this blog list into your project, it should work. Okay. So you can kind of play with this, and this is the project I just downloaded. This one.
Okay, great, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, inside on Total CMS in version 2, I do some special things. Like on here, you'll notice that yeah, some of the stuff, like if you notice on this one, when I hover over it, the title kind of moves up, and then this fades in. So there's a little bit of extra stuff in here, but to be honest, with the new swatches pack that I'm working on, you could probably get most of that done with that, actually, with some classes. You can replicate this.
Yeah, great. Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Here, I will show you guys. I gotta log in. Let me show you. There is. Here's this one. So this is part of actually the drift stack also will contain a stack called Prism, and this is one of them. So this is going to be called a Prism stack. And what's kind of cool is it's dynamic. So you can have it, as you see, I have 3 sides here, and it is a triangle, a 3-dimensional triangle. But let's go ahead and add a few more sides. So there I've added, let's see, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I want to do, let's make sure they're alternate. So the alternate colors. There we go. And as you see here, I have it as a tilt. It's kind of tilted, but we can tweak that. What was that? That was. There's this. So there, and I added transparency so you can kind of see. But as you see, this could just be like, you know, kind of a cool little way to, you know, kind of a cool little slider. This was pretty cool to do. I developed all of this from scratch, and I had to learn some trigonometry to get this working. So imagine this is either images or it could just be some other content, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty cool.
Looks good.
And then there is a let's see, did I do this one? There you go. Here's another thing. You can, like a kind of like a cool little button, right? So that'll be something you can do a drift as well. As well, you know, just moving things around the page. It's just going to be a very big animation pack that does all kinds of different animations, not just, you know, moving things around the page as you scroll. It'll be a really full-featured, a lot of cool stacks. Oops, there's going to be, let's go back. Just a generic, you know, just like a 2-sided card flip. Oh, it doesn't look like that. It looks like it doesn't flip back. But so I was working, you know, a lot of this on the flip stuff. Let's see if this one does. Does it? Oh, it doesn't flip back either. Okay, but it will. So anyway, so that was some cool stuff that I've been working on with Drift, adding some more, you know, kind of cool stuff. Getting that, you know, dynamically generating the shape based on the number of sides. That I had to learn trigonometry again to do that. That was crazy. You know, when you take trig in high school, you never think you're ever going to use it again. Man, 30 years later, I finally used it. Or 20 years later, 25 years later.
50 plus for me.
Ha
God. No, good. Right, I'm going to leave you.
Cool. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you coming on.
Good to see you.
You guys should come on Fridays. We do this every Friday. It's this, right? It's a lot.
Okay.
All kind. We got lots of UKers. You guys can, you know, bombard me.
Well,
it's the UK party on Friday most of the time. Sometimes I let Josh join too.
No, I appreciate your patience and your very clear explanation. So
absolutely brilliant.
Oh, my pleasure. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just realized we've been here for 2 hours, guys. Wow, crazy. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it's 11:30.
Yeah, it's getting late here in Germany.
Have a good one. All right.
Yeah.
It's 10:30
Take care, guys.
PM.
Yeah, sometimes you know, on Fridays, you know, I mean, they don't start until right now on Fridays actually. So it's 1:30 you know, Pacific my time. So it's whenever right now in your time zone is when we start on Fridays. And yeah, we'll go for 4 or 5 hours sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, we go for a long time.
There's been some late nights.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna
And
explain this
Josh,
to my work.
Josh
to
just
my
joins
wife.
when he has to leave his house. He'll join from his phone, and he'll be like eating dinner with his wife and taking it out with his wife. And we just join Josh along with hanging out with his wife.
It's a party.
Buying Filipino food and grocery shopping with Josh.
Yeah, man.
It's a great time.
Seafood City for the win.
Cool. Well, if anyone else have any more questions, else we will adjourn and let you guys have your evenings back. Any other questions?
No more questions.
Nope. Cool. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It was fun hanging out. I love doing this stuff. Love helping you guys and meeting everybody. It's a lot of fun. So take care, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you very much, Joe.